The reporter who was literally banned from covering the Indiana Fever. The reporter who humiliated himself on national television and embarrassed the entire journalism profession just wrote a new article attacking Caitlin Clark and the millions of fans who support her. He claims the Fever did nothing. And you know what the craziest part is? The Indiana Fever front office is proving him right by sitting back in complete, terrifying silence.
Ask Caitlin Clark this question right here, and we all cannot forget this incident, because this incident is sparking outrage again today, and I'll tell y'all why.
Hi, Caitlin. Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, let me do this.
You like that?
Welcome back to WNBA Time, the only place you need to be for the unfiltered, the unvarnished, and the absolute no excuses truth about everything happening on the hardwood and in the press rooms. Grab a seat, take a deep breath, and get ready, because today we are not just talking about a basketball game. We are talking about a media hit piece. We are talking about a disgraced columnist trying to claw his way back into relevance by attacking the most popular female athlete on the planet. And we are talking about a front office that is completely, utterly terrified to defend its own franchise player. We are talking about Greg Doyle, the Indiana Fever, and the absolute betrayal of a fan base. Let me take you back and give you the exact context, because the history of this situation is absolutely infuriating, and you need to remember exactly who we are dealing with here before we break down this new attack. We have to rewind the clock to the very beginning of this nightmare. April, the introductory press conference. Caitlin Clark had just been drafted #1 overall. The city of Indianapolis was buzzing. The entire sports world was watching. It was supposed to be a historic, celebratory moment for a franchise that had been suffering in the basement of the league for a decade. And then Greg Doyle took the microphone, a veteran sports columnist for the Indianapolis Star, a man who has covered professional sports for years. He took the microphone, and instead of asking a legitimate basketball question, instead of asking about her transition to the professional game, he decided to make it incredibly, painfully weird. He flashed a heart sign with his hands at a 22-year-old rookie, a gesture she does for her family. And when Caitlin Clark, trying to be polite, asked if he liked that, Greg Doyle looked at her and said, on live microphone, in front of the entire world, "Start doing that to me, and we will get along just fine."
Rated Fever star Caitlin Clark can still get hot, and so can her fans. So he deliberately attacked Caitlin Clark fans yesterday, right? It's being reported that the Indiana Fever made their home debut Thursday night, when we learned Caitlin Clark can still get hot at moment's notice, and so can her fans. Okay, so maybe we already knew all of that. So to attach a nice tendy
It was cringeworthy. It was unprofessional, it was downright creepy, and it ignited an absolute firestorm on social media. The fans erupted. The mainstream media was forced to cover it. The backlash was so intense, so overwhelmingly negative, that the Indianapolis Star had no choice but to step in. Greg Doyle was forced to write an apology column that read like a masterclass in missing the point. He was suspended, and most importantly, he was officially barred from covering the Indiana Fever in person. Banned, revoked. He was told he could not step foot in Gainbridge Fieldhouse to cover the team. You would think that would be the end of it. You would think a reporter who suffered that level of public humiliation would quietly fade into the background, reflect on his unprofessional behavior, and maybe start writing about something else. You would think he would realize that the millions of new fans watching this sport will not tolerate that kind of old-school, entitled disrespect. But apparently, the suspension was not enough. Apparently, the public humiliation did not teach him a single lesson. Because now, he is back, and he has decided to double down. Greg Doyle just released a new article, and instead of taking accountability, he is pointing the finger. The title of this video says it all. The banned reporter is attacking Caitlin Clark, He is attacking the passionate fans, and he is boldly claiming that the Fever did nothing. He is trying to flip the script. He is trying to portray himself as a victim of a toxic mob, and he is using his platform to wage war against the very people who are keeping this league financially afloat.
Now, he goes on to say that was alarming. Then comes Thursday night when Clark scores 21 points in 16 minutes. She took 6 shots from the floor, and that's where I messed up on in my video. She took 6 shots from the floor. She was 2 of 3 from 3 and made 11 of 13 free throws. Well, all was right except for the ESPN looks. Preseason conversation. Also, the bots were all ESPN drops massive disrespect list with Caitlin Clark hitting multiple guards and all this different stuff. And I believe...
Let us break down exactly what this means, because this is a calculated, strategic, and incredibly cynical attack. He claims the fans are the problem. He claims that the people who defend Caitlin Clark are a toxic mob that ruined his reputation. Listen to me very carefully. Greg Doyle ruined his own reputation. The fans simply held up a mirror. But this is the oldest, most pathetic trick in the mainstream media playbook. When an established reporter gets caught being unprofessional, when they get called out for their completely inappropriate behavior, they never look inward. They immediately turn around, point the finger at the internet, and call the fans crazy. They try to delegitimize the fan base to protect their own fragile egos. He attacks you, the people watching this video, the people buying the $20 hot dogs, the people buying the $130 jerseys, the people selling out the arenas, the people driving the television ratings up by 500%. The mainstream sports media absolutely despises the new WNBA fan base. And do you want to know why? Because you are too smart. Because you refuse to be spoon-fed their narratives. Because you actually look at the box scores, you watch the defensive rotations, and you hold the media accountable for their words. In the old days, a guy like Greg Doyle could write whatever he wanted, act however he wanted in a press conference, and nobody would say a single word. There was no accountability. But Caitlin Clark brought millions of new, highly engaged, highly protective eyes to this league. And those eyes do not tolerate disrespect. And that absolutely terrifies the old guard of the sports media.
Going to some games this year. And my thing about it is that when it comes to these reporters, when y'all see these people in person, even content creators. Now, I can't speak for all the other content creators because I ain't never seen nobody outside in the field besides maybe 1 or 2 people. And to me, these are internet warriors. But I'm not going to disrespect CCFC fan base like he just did. Because one thing I know about CCFC fan base, they got power like 50. I don't give a damn what they handle on their name is. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, they have and enough power to steer.
But let us get to the most fascinating, unbelievable part of his new article. Greg Doyle claims that the Fever did nothing. He is attacking the organization, implying they did nothing to protect him or that they did nothing to manage the situation. But here at WNBA Time, we love to take a narrative and flip it on its head. Greg Doyle says the Fever did nothing. Well, Greg, congratulations. You finally wrote a sentence that is 100% accurate. The Indiana Fever absolutely did nothing, but not in the way you think. The Indiana Fever did nothing to build a functional, competitive roster around their generational superstar. They did nothing to acquire a legitimate backup center. They did nothing to find a power forward who can actually catch a chest pass in traffic. They did nothing to build a defensive scheme that does not look like a high school junior varsity drill. They did absolutely nothing to maximize the window of the greatest rookie attraction in the history of professional sports. Look at the evidence. The evidence is right there on the basketball court every single night. When Caitlin Clark goes to the bench, the team implodes. We just watched a game where the Fever were outscored 36-17 in a single quarter because the front office did nothing to build bench depth. We watched Kelsey Mitchell, a Supermax player, shoot 4 of 12, and finish as a -18. We watched Sophie Cunningham play 14 minutes and score 0 points. We watched Damiris Dantes shoot 18% from the field. The front office watched this disaster unfold, and they did nothing.
To let you come back in the beginning, slip that under the rug, because hell, me personally, I hadn't even known your ass came back. So for them to let you come back shows me, it tells me where the Indiana Fever, well, I can't say the Indiana.
But it goes so much deeper than just the roster construction. The Indiana Fever did nothing to protect Caitlin Clark. And this is where the silence of the front office becomes absolutely deafening. Where is the Indiana Fever organization in all of this? Where is the statement from the general manager, Kelly Krauskopf? Where is the protection from head coach Christy Sides? Where is the outrage from Lynn Dunn? When a disgraced, banned reporter writes a hit piece attacking your franchise player and the millions of fans that literally pay your salary, you are supposed to step up to the microphone and defend them. You are supposed to issue a statement. You are supposed to draw a line in the sand and say, we will not tolerate this kind of journalism directed at our players or our community. But the Indiana Fever front office, they are completely, utterly silent. They are hiding under their desks. Just like they are silent when Caitlin Clark gets hit with cheap shots and flagrant fouls on the court. Just like they are silent when opposing players target her knees. Just like they are silent when the team shoots 30% from the field and gets blown out by 15 points at home. It is a culture of silence. It is a culture of complacency. And it is a culture of absolute, undeniable weakness. The Indiana Fever front office is perfectly happy to use Caitlin Clark's face on every single billboard, every single ticket promo, and every single social media post to generate millions of dollars in revenue. But when it comes time to actually stand up and protect her from the wolves, they vanish into thin air.
Y'all give them respect. Y'all show them respect in the media. Y'all give him a media pass, sideline access. He write hit pieces on Caitlin Clark. Y'all say nothing. But when it's people on Twitter, oh, it's such a big deal. Y'all ain't got to see these people on Twitter. Caitlin got to see him. Y'all ain't got to see the Caitlin Clark reports. Y'all ain't got to see any other content creators. Those are ones that don't go to games. Y'all got to see him. And this is what be pissing me off with the W. This is why they can't get ahead, because it's a double-edged sword.
I need you to imagine the psychological toll this takes on a 22-year-old rookie. Imagine being Caitlin Clark right now. You are carrying the financial weight of an entire professional sports league on your back. You are the reason 17 out of 22 road games had to be moved to NBA arenas. You are the reason television networks are signing billion-dollar deals. You are dealing with double teams, full court traps, and intense physical exhaustion on the court every single night. You are giving absolutely everything you have to the game of basketball. And then, after a grueling game, you have to log onto the internet and see that the reporter who creeped you out at your very first professional press conference is now writing articles attacking you and your fan base. And you look to your own organization for support, and there is nothing. Nobody has your back. It is psychological warfare. It is an impossible burden for any athlete to carry, let alone a rookie. But Caitlin Clark is not going to break. She is mentally tougher than anyone sitting in that front office, and she is certainly mentally tougher than a banned columnist hiding behind a keyboard trying to salvage his ruined career. She has proven time and time again that she can block out the noise and deliver MVP-level performances. She just dropped 21 points on 66% shooting, while the rest of her team fell apart. She is a warrior. But the point is, she shouldn't have to be this tough. She shouldn't have to fight a one-front war against aggressive opposing defenses and a second front war against bitter local media members, all while her front office completely abandons her. The Indiana Fever are playing a very dangerous game right now. They are testing the patience of a generational talent. Caitlin Clark hates losing. She hates incompetence. And if the front office continues to do nothing to build the roster, nothing to protect her on the court, and nothing to defend her in the media, they are going to push her to her absolute breaking point. The fans see it. Greg Doyle might be writing hit pieces, but the fans see the truth. The fans know that the real problem in Indiana is not the fan base. The real problem is an organization that does not know how to handle greatness. The fans are demanding trades, they are demanding accountability, and they are demanding that this front office wake up and realize what they have before they completely destroy it. Greg Doyle wants to attack the fans. Bring it on. The WNBA Time community is not going anywhere. We are going to keep calling out the terrible journalism, we are going to keep calling out the terrible roster construction, and we are going to keep demanding the respect that Caitlin Clark deserves. The mainstream media can write all the hit pieces they want, but they cannot stop the numbers. They cannot stop the sold-out arenas, and they cannot stop the revolution that is happening in women's basketball.
This is WNBA Time.
If you are sick and tired of the mainstream media disrespecting Caitlin Clark, and if you are furious at the Indiana Fever front office for their pathetic silence, you are in the exact right place. Please consider hitting that super thanks button below to support the channel directly. We do not rely on corporate access. We do not care about getting banned by the Indiana Star. We rely on you, the fans, to keep this independent coverage alive. Smash that subscribe button right now. Hit the like button to push this video deep into the YouTube algorithm so everyone sees the truth. And drop your absolute honest take in the comments section below. I want to read every single opinion. What do you think about Greg Doyle's new article? Why is the Fever front office so silent? Does Caitlin Clark need to demand a trade? Drop your thoughts, let us debate in the comments. Hit the notification bell because the drama is never ending and we are covering every single second of it. Peace out.